hosting League One Wigan in the FA Cup on Sunday. How do you think that will go, Simon?
Well, I think everyone would be expecting an Arsenal win and no upsets and no problems. Probably play a reduced lineup. The likes of Norgard will probably start. Odegaard obviously yesterday had a bit of a problem, so I don't know if he's going to get any more minutes than what he got yesterday. So we might see Eze potentially start as well. Saka's coming back from injury; he might get a few minutes. We'll probably start Jesus up front, something like that. Similar to sort of like the Portsmouth game, I would think. That we played away in the third round. I mean, Wigan, I don't think they're really going to be a test for Arsenal. I think they're just set up very similar to teams that want to play with a low block, and they'll try and keep it 0-0 for as long as possible and try and waste as many minutes as possible as well. But I guess we'll see. We sort of need a result after Brentford game. We didn't particularly play very well. Brentford, out of the two teams, Brentford were definitely a great example of a Premier League team trying to push for those European places. I can't really see, like I said, I can't see an upset. I think a lot of the focus is going to be on the Wolves game, middle of the week. So our rearranged game from the League Cup final. I think I don't know when Man City are playing their rearranged game, but we're obviously going to be a game ahead of any of the other title contenders. So I think get through the Wigan game, go to Molineux and get a result there. Rest as many players as we can for Wigan, and not have a terrible first half where we've got to bring on the likes of like Rice and high profile players that we kind of want to get. We want to reduce the minutes of and have them fresh for Molineux.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think, especially what's happened already this season in FA Cup. I think quite a few Premier League teams have already gone out. I think it's a good chance for you to get this trophy. As you say, you want to keep going for the quad and belief and all that, to believe you're going to do it. But I think your main focus should really be on the Premier League, like you said. And I think you will do a whole rest of your team, even though you'd think against Wolves you should win that because they are shipping goals lately. But you got to prioritise Premier League over the FA Cup, I think, because you got to finally win it this year. It's a big opportunity for Arteta and your team to actually finally go on and lift a trophy.
Yeah, I think at this back end part of the year, it's a bit. You look at the Premier League games and you go, there's only 12 left now. But in between there, you're going to have Champions League matches and potentially FA Cup matches, and then more rearranged matches. I think, yeah, it's just a case of getting through this game without any problems and going to Molineux and trying to go 7 points clear, because all the Champions League games are next week, all the playoff ones. So some of the Premier League teams are going to be involved in that, and we're going to have a Premier League game in the middle of the week on our own, pretty much. So yeah, I think the Brentford game was a bit potentially one of those games where it feels like we've had a few of them recently, but it's like a reminder that obviously the season's not over, and anyone that thinks that it is, there's still going to be roller coasters. And
yeah,
I look at Man City now and I'm like, that season that they went, was it 12 games unbeaten? And we sort of capitulated. I think we lost to Newcastle, Southampton. We drew against, I think we ended up getting like 2 points in 4 games or something like that. And I think the way that Man City are playing at the moment, it's there's going to be some roller coaster. It's going to be a roller coaster. We've got to play Man City in the league, so if Man City beat us from that, then that's another 3 point swing. We've got to play Chelsea, we've got to play Tottenham, all these teams that are performing so poorly, and then they go and get a new manager and they start performing well. And you look what happened with the United game when Michael Carrick took over, and I can just see see what's going to happen with the Tottenham game already. We have a new manager
Yeah.
bounce. We got them in 2 games' time.
I think talking to Tottenham, they've just replaced Frank already, haven't they, with Igor Tudor, the former Juventus manager, who's known to come in and stable the ship and get results. So it'd be the one, I think, for him, if he can get his points against you, like his first North London derby. It takes it away from you for the title as well. Tottenham fans are going to love him for it already.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a long way to go, I think, even from now. I think there's still 10 games after we play Tottenham.
Of
Yeah,
course.
when you look at the run-in, there are these sort of like games now where before I'd probably think to myself, they are, we're going to perform well in them. And then, you look at some of the teams and how they're performing now, and a bit of doubt sets in. But see what happens. Still believe that we're going to win it all. And when we get to the end of the season, we'll see if we've won anything.
See what happens at the weekend against Wigan. But lucky for you, Wigan's on a terrible run of form. So you could end up breaking their duck. Yeah, exactly. Like you could become Charity FC. It's Palace's tagline. So I'm just looking at their form, like in the last, 6 games, they've lost 5, drew 1, and in them 6 games they lost 6-1.
Oh, wow!
So they're in some terrible form. Yeah,
it's sort of like a weird period now because we're going into the FA Cup. We're going to be a game ahead of everybody else after the Wolves game, and then we've got Tottenham, and it's really about Arsenal and how fit some of these players are, and whether the depth is dwindling. Marino's gone. Havertz has got another muscle injury. Odegaard was limping. Saka is apparently coming back, but we need to make sure that we don't push him. Then you got Saliba. I know he was ill. I think it's one of those sort of like weeks where it's like, we drew 4 points now, but let's move on to the next game. And hopefully it's not an embarrassing result on Sunday.
Yeah. Also, I think, I'm assuming Kepa's going to start because he seems like he's your cup keeper. And from what I've seen with him playing, even this season, he should be pushing Raya for a start because Raya's making some silly mistakes. So if he does really well, say Wigan do come out all firing and he's saving them all the time, surely he's got to be pushing for a start in the next game as well against Wolves.
Yeah,
as was going to say, as much as that is a big win that you need to keep winning in the Premier League anyway, it's a bit harsh from the goalie if he then reverts back to Raya after having a great display against, say, Wigan.
Yeah, I mean, Raya is a lot better than Kepa, and the mistakes he made don't outweigh how good he is. So, and a lot of the time he's sort of like put in positions that are the downfall of like our defenders or our midfielders with poor passes and stuff like that. I mean, to me, Raya's distribution is 100% better. He's saving is a lot better. His decision making is a lot better. To counter a lot better. Like, there's so many good things I think with Raya. He's one of the best goalkeepers in the league. Like Edison or an Allison, they made mistakes, right? But they were still considered one of the best goalkeepers in the league.
Well, I think Edison, though, has been found out a bit more since he's left Man City, because luckily for Man City, they don't really have to defend a lot. But now since he's left them, I've noticed a few different combinations where he's made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, he was protected very well against some of the world's best defenders at Man City, wasn't he? So, that's the thing. Like Real, I mean, again, Arsenal possibly have the best 2 centre-backs in world football at the moment. So it helps Raya a lot out as well, possibly. So,
absolutely. Yeah, so you always find that with goalkeepers, don't you? There's also a reversal sometimes where, like, you think a goalkeeper is bad, and then when he goes to a team with a more solid defence and more structure and a better midfield, they're actually 100 times better than you think they are because of how poor the team they used to play for was. Yeah.
I always say, though, when it comes to goalkeepers, big teams are better to buy keepers from like down the table, which you did in the end of the day with Brentford and Real, because they're used to stopping a lot of shots on goal instead of like the best goalies in the world that are playing with the best defenders, the best midfielders, best attackers. They don't really have to do much. So you get a goalie from a team in the lower part of the league, who are used to shot stopping, who are used to making unbelievable saves. I find it always is better for teams in long run, big teams, because the goalie's already there, used to doing all that every week.
Yeah. I think, I think this time next week we'll see how optimistic we all are. Because if we've lost the Wolves going into a Spurs match, I think we'll be a bit nervous then. Then it will start getting a
Yeah.
bit, there'll still be a long way to go, but there'll be that sort of like, oh, have we thrown it away and all this kind of, nonsense. And even though there's still 30 points up for grabs potentially. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Bit boring, really, for Arsenal at the moment.
It's boring as an Arsenal fan, isn't it? So I'm winning everything at the moment,
Yeah, the Sunderland game was good. That was a really good game. We'll say that. That was a really good game.
It was only boring 1-0 though, wasn't it?
We looked really sharp. I thought Gyökeres looked really sharp. But again, he doesn't follow that up with, another performance against Brentford. And this is where you need to win those games 1-0 or something like that. And we just didn't. But fair play to Brentford. But I think they're well deserved of the position they're in, and they're going to be a few more upsets. Teams go into to their ground. And there's going to be a few more upsets going. I think Man City have to play Brentford, but I think it's at Man City. But I just think that they are pushing now, really, really pushing quite a lot.
Yeah. That's the thing. A team like Man City, they can turn it on whenever they want. It's just a matter of actually putting the chances away. And if they got them on firing on all cylinders, then it's easy for them.
Yeah.
And only a few players are left since they won that Champions League. See what happens towards the end of the season. But with Arsenal, they really need to beat Wolves and then keep going, because Man City are going to constantly be buying at your heels. They're never going to give up.
Yeah, man. If you look at their fixtures, they are, it looks like they could go on another 10-game run. It really does.